in the Ashanti region is a forest-rich, mountainous area. This is where you will find Nframabuom. You can be forgiven if this is your first time hearing of this place, but I can assure you, after today, you will never forget it. Nframabuom has a captivating history. For 3 centuries, their ancestors lived in caves, and those caves are still there, waiting for you and I to discover them. We got very lucky at the very beginning when the Apejahene of Kwamang himself agreed to take us on a guided tour. He pulled on his Wellington boots and led us deep into the forest. So Nana, tell us about this place.
Here it's called Nframabuom, but it's Nframabuom Annex. During the olden days, you know, there were a lot of tribal wars.
Yeah.
And our ancestors moved away from a certain town called Amoako, and then came to settle at a place called Sumuna Kesieso.
Elephant Hole.
Oh, yeah, Elephant Hole. So, in the modern times, we said we have modernized it to be Sumuna Kesie, but it's Asumuna, Asunu Amuna Kesie.
Suddenly, the clear path we had been walking on disappeared over a steep edge. This is where most people would turn back, believing they can go no further. We certainly would have if we didn't have Nana with us. But over 4 centuries ago, when Kabie the hunter got here, he decided to keep going. And that's how he discovered the famous Nframabuom, the Windy Cave.
A hunter within that, within our ancestors, decided to go on an expedition, hunting expedition.
Right.
So fortunately, when he came down this way, he detected this cave, thinking there were animals in it, so that he could make a good hunt there. He entered the place and realized it was a safe place for people to live.
Oh.
Yeah. So he passed the night there. So the next day he came to the town and got the chief informed about what he had seen.
Right.
Then the chief decided that, okay, then they should come. So when they came and inspected the place, they realized it was a nice place where people could live.
Right.
So they went back and then got the chief informed about what they had come to see. You know, during those times, the people were not many. So the chief decided to move his people to this place to settle, so that enemies could not attack them. Enye boni bi ewie ye ho na enya hoho a ombehwe buo mu omo free Joy FM eja ebuo ye di ho akoniaba de bia ebo mpaye se enya adomfo omedum ye entimi mesi dai wo soro ha na emetra ha na ahanya krabehwe enya sika mfrim entimi fasiesi oman ene omabo ewura mu ache umeje nsan no.
The first thing I noticed was that the caves are not exactly windy. Actually, it's boiling hot in here. I was sweating buckets. The second thing I noticed, bats!
You see all the bats? Yeah. Wow. Okay. So Nana, this looks like the main chamber, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the first hall. This is where the chief and his people used to have their meetings.
Well, I've noticed some candles.
Yeah. This is it's the Christians. Normally, some of the Christians come here to pray. They stay here for weeks and then do their fasting and prayers.
This really is quite an adventure, but it ought to come with a warning. People with back problems will not enjoy this. I really am blown away by the idea of an entire community surviving in this cavernous subterranean space for 300 years. How did they do it? Where did they get water? Well, as it turned out, the answer was just next door.
This is where they used to take. This is the water they used to drink
This is their drinking water.
Yeah.
So it's a stream that runs through the caves.
Yes.
How clean is the water?
Well, you know, once we see it like this, we think it's okay. We just take it.
Wow.
We need somebody. At least we need people who could come to help us so that we develop the place very well. And then make sure the history is reserved for even the younger generations to be able to tell whenever somebody comes in to have a look at the place. Yeah.
It's fascinating that so much of a people's history, 300 years of their lives, could have occurred there, with most of them bent over double for the entirety of their lives as they hid from their enemies successfully, because obviously the people survived now to create the community of Kwaman. But these caves are quite an experience. Just being in them makes you feel like you've traveled through time to a period when technology did not exist. Everything electronic that we had felt alien in there. It's a feeling that many people would pay a fortune to experience because the world is now so completely automated. So if you want to really get back in touch with nature, I recommend these caves. It's a trip through time, and that's priceless.